Hello. All right. Excuse me. A few people have asked me, how do you use weather stripping on the cards? And why did I buy this? The reason I bought it, because it was $1, well, $1.25. They had 6 bags, and I looked at that and I thought, I know weather stripping is only sticky on one side, and that's okay. I don't mind using glue on the other side. But I figured for the amount that it was, I mean, this has 17 feet. So that's a pretty good piece of foam. So I started using it, and I noticed one thing right away. I was expecting the non-stick on the other side, because it's not sticky here. It's only sticky where it shows the yellow there, and that's where the release paper is. I noticed 2 things. One, it's kind of a pain in the butt, to be honest, to store, because as you can see, it does not stick, so it's constantly getting all messed up. Okay, so that's one thing. Though I did find a way to kind of hold it, and that's if you keep it pulled tight like this, and then you snip it with scissors right here where the release tape is, and fold this back. So then you've got this little tiny piece that's exposed, that's sticky. Then you can press this down, and that will pretty much hold it together. Okay, if you don't do that, it's going to unravel on you. So keep that in mind if you're interested in doing this also. All right, so that's one thing that's kind of a pain. And I was thinking, you know what? That is a pain, but I could always just snip off a nice big piece and then just cut it in bits and pieces, which I did do. And I threw it in this little tin, so you can see the bits and pieces here. Okay, and that's just because I keep this tin on my desk so that I can, because these are all the little tiny punches that I use quite frequently. All right, so the other thing is it's twice as thick as the regular stuff, and so if you're going to be using this, then you need to take a piece off. And let's see, I can cut some more off. So I'll put my orange scissors right there. So I would just go ahead and cut a chunk off, and then again I'm gonna take my scissors and I'll show you what I'm doing. Just slide this in, snip it, fold this back, and then attach this on there. Press it down real good. There, that way it'll stay put together, hopefully. It does open up every once in a while. All right, the other thing is this. Because of the thickness, it's double thick, and you can actually see there's a row where they put 2 pieces together. I have tried to pull that apart, and it won't. Okay, so, but I have noticed that you can cut it in half this way, but you have to cut it in half this way first. So you have to make this cut and cut all the way through till you get to the other end. And I am willing to do this. I did buy 6 rolls of this stuff because that's what they had. And I thought, you know what? I don't mind doing this at all. So, and then the other part is now, so there's the bottom, there's the bottom, there's the top. This is the sticky side, okay? So I've cut it in half thin-wise. So now I want to cut the height of it in half. And the only way you could do that, from what I've seen, unless you can come up with another idea, is just to line your scissors on it and then just snip it in half. And it's gonna, if you do it in small enough pieces, sections, then you can cut it a little bit thinner. And yes, you're gonna get some bumps. It's not gonna be perfect, but you know what? For me, I don't care. If there's something that I'm making that needs to be exact, then I would just use my other stuff, my better stuff. But for me, this is giving me 4 times the amount, because, so see, and now I have to glue both sides of this if I'm going to cut it off and use the different pieces. And you can see all the snip marks on there. So, but that's okay. You're not going to see that anyways. All right, so now I'm just going to cut it down to size, whatever size I'm going to need it. and then put it in my tin. So, and for me, that's easy enough. I don't mind doing that at all. Okay, but look at the difference now between this, the width of this one, and the width of, or the height of this one that I've cut in half versus this one. Okay, so there is quite a difference. All right, so that's my answer to your question, is how am I going to use it? That's how I'm going to use it, is I've got to make it thinner. And I tried cutting it in half this way with it wide like this, but you could try it. For me, it was not working. It's got to be thinner. So, and it's actually easier to cut it like that, or to cut this, if you make it in 4 pieces. You know, if you do it about, what, 2 inches long? Well, 1 3/4 of an inch long. Okay, it's a lot easier to cut it in half if it's shorter like this. Okay, so there you go. And then to use it, just use it like regular, however you're going to use it. I mean, if you're going to put it on something like this, then go ahead, and it does have that one sticky side. So these ones, you'll be pampered because you just peel off the stick and put it on. And then I just take my glue stick and just rub it on. So that way it's sticky. If I'm not going to do it that way, then I'll take it and I'll put glue down first. This one has none of the sticky on it. This one has the yellow sticky tape. This one's not. That does. This one does. That one does. This one does not. So half of them are going to have the yellow tape and be sticky on one side, and the other half are not. So, and how I use that, these are all the ones that are not sticky at all. I just go ahead and put glue on this circle, and then I'll just lay down 2 of them, you know, 2 next to each other, or 4. I'll cut them to size and put 4 next to each other, and then just run my glue stick on it, and then turn it over and go ahead and glue it down on something. So that's all. That's how I'm going to use it. So I hope that answers your question. And if you want to give it a try, go for it. So I'm willing, you know, but you do have to be willing to mess around with it a little bit. So it depends on, you know, how much you want to save money, and is that worth it to you or not. So, but for me, then yes, it's definitely worth it, because by cutting it in half this way, the width of it, the length of it, then that's giving me 2 rolls instead of 1. Plus, by cutting it in half the thickness, that's giving me another roll. So that's what is that? 4 times the amount. So I think that's pretty cool. Why not? So instead of having 1 roll. So, alrighty. So I hope this answers your question and clarifies for you. And I hope I didn't confuse you. And thank you for asking the question. I do like to make sure I'm responding back and helping out as I can. So, and thanks again for those thumbs up. I appreciate it. And if you have any tips that you'd like to share, then please share with me. If you've got another idea of what you use that could help our viewers save a little bit of money, then please share. And I'll definitely share that word out for you. So I appreciate it. And until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.